Hello, good people. Richard here, and we're back. For the very first time, we're actually having a guest on the show. It's our very lovely podcast called Serve Your Time. As you all know, if you're new, maybe for the first time, Serve Your Time is all about, a community that comes to bring together ideas, share within the context of life is purpose, in the belief that someone out there will be inspired, will learn, pick a thing or two from your story, from our story, from any story, and apply that in their daily lives. So today is also the first time we're launching a series called Ridiculous Illegal. Now, this particular series is dear to me, and because it falls directly within the line of work that I do as a lawyer. So I believe that I serve my time as a lawyer and the legal profession, and also as a tech lawyer. For those that don't know, so in doing so, that's my belief. That's how I serve my time. So in specifically talking about this ridiculous legal topic, it's something that speaks too much what I do, and of course, as you can see, for the first time, I have a guest here, and this takes back this guest of mine who will talk to you very shortly is is a guy I've known for years. Like he's a brother to me actually. Don't let the beards mislead you. He's a young brother to me, but a friend as well. And we've been on this journey for the longest. I believe we began working together as far as 2016, and that in itself was a time where I started a legal tech company called then known Afrique, and my brother here, startup, senior startup, joined me in 2016, and we've been, together, working together on different legal tech projects since then. So, without further ado, as I said, my name is Richard Mehereza, and I'm your host, and I have my brother here. But I want him to speak for himself. Maybe he need to introduce himself, then so we can dive in.
All right. Thanks, Richard, for the invite. This is really exciting. I've been looking forward to jumping on this podcast. It's interesting content so far. So my name is Edwin Lubanga. I'm also a startupper. That means basically passionate about building companies, serving different things, and just the way the title "Serve Your Time." Also from that end, we look at how is that also serving my time. So yeah, what do we have here today?
Oh, okay. So just Karibu Edwin, that's Swahili for welcome to this podcast, Serve Your Time. In fact, as you mentioned earlier on, and I've also earlier on said, this channel, this podcast is all about, finding your life purpose. Not even necessarily finding, but if what you're really doing, we believe that that's you serving your time. And the most common term for this is employment or business. So Edwin, tell us a little bit more about you and how you serve your time, because now we know who you are, but how are you serving your time in the context of making humanity better, have a better experience in the context of life. Tell us.
Yeah. So maybe just to dial back in terms of my background. I did telecommunication engineering in a beautiful school called Polytechnic University of Turin, just North Italy. And while I finished my engineering, I wanted, of course, the typical course is you get to employment, 9 to 5, which I attempted also. But then I felt there's more to it. I felt I think I need to maximize my skills and maybe try also build something like a company and create opportunities for others. So with that, it meant by the time I'm coming back to Kenya, I decided, you know what, I could easily just do a 9 to 5, pay bills, take care of myself, and that's it. But there's more to it. And then I started thinking about all the problems around us. How can I be a problem solver? So in the end, I also saw, okay, whatever we're building, whatever it's out there, there's something called impact. and this is the closest you can get to serve your time, in the sense that whatever you're doing is impacting 2 or 3 people. So if, let's say, I build a company, employ 10 people, that's good. That's more than myself. To 10 people who are also, with that, it's an opportunity that they're creating for another 10 and 10 as we go. So the number game also shows you quickly how far can you go with that. So I would say my serving my time is waking up every morning and thinking how to solve all these problems around us the best way I can, and then trying to see how much impact can I create while doing this, and also having fun while doing it.
Fantastic. So Edwin, thanks. That's an interesting one. So today we basically just gonna have a conversation.
Yeah.
I just want us to because like I said, I began working with Edwin in 2016, right? And we've learned a lot. We are still learning, right? But the meeting point was for those of you who may not know, Edwin went to law school for like 4 days, So he was a law student for at least a week.
Yes.
And then he realized, he's better in tech, maybe pursuing tech. And so when we met, it was an intersection, He still had passion for the law. He never really pursued. I found myself with great passion in technology, combined with law and design. And in the end, we decided, we can work together on this project. So today's introduction. Today is an introduction to this amazing series, and which we'll be doing episodes going forward for Ridiculous Legal. We've spoken about this specific topic before, I believe. So what I want us to achieve today really is to understand, just have a free conversation around this topic, since we're introducing the series, and we don't necessarily have to confine ourselves to the topic itself in a sense. However, let's just also reflect on the legal tech journey, as it were, in that context, as a build-up to introducing this particular series. So when the word ridiculous illegal rings a bell, based from previous conversations, encounters, what comes to mind?
So, yeah, what comes to mind quickly, of course, the word ridiculous, in the sense it means we have, in the world of legal place, it means we have also laws that have been passed, and there's some laws that go way back 40 years ago that were enacted, and right now things are moving very fast. There's so much going on in the tech world, intersection of all these. So I find some laws, they might not be fitting in our times, and those laws, the word ridiculous would be the best way to say, to describe them. They are laws, they were meant to serve a specific thing, and they're there, right? But do they really fit into our present? Because, like a quick example I would think of, right now we have so much AI going on, right? If we don't, policymakers have to really think quickly, how do we regulate AI? What has to happen? So if you bring a law that dealt with some human behavior from 1950s, that it's supposed to be applied now, but right now we're using AI to replace that behavior, you will notice it becomes ridiculous in itself. So that's what I would think quickly. What are these ridiculous laws?
but I also think that me and you were also ridiculous illegal. How are we even like start up as since 2014, 2016?
And we're still there.
I think it's ridiculous, and we are ridiculous illegal that we're still in the space.
Absolutely.
What happened? Why are we not billionaires yet? What is wrong with what's your take on the legal tech space and the
Yes.
startup scene
Yes.
in this country or the continent, given our experiences, globally and all that stuff?
Trust me, we'll need 40 episodes on this or more. But
we can try to combine the introduction.
yes. But what I can tell you is, and this for any entrepreneur, not just any legal tech entrepreneur or whatever. There's opportunities in every challenges, and if you can actually succeed on this continent, whatever product you're building, kudos to you. Why am I saying this? We don't have soft landing for like other established markets. For any other entrepreneur wakes up one morning and they're like, oh, I have a rich uncle, or the government policies are favoring me, and I'm able to build and launch a product. Those things, they're not so much on our side. We don't have the playground. Basically, I'm not saying it's rigged, but I'm just saying it's not too conducive for an entrepreneur on the continent to really thrive and succeed quickly. So what will take me 10 years, of course, in other markets, maybe I'll do it in 2 or 3 years. And then also there's the philosophy around startup world, that I think the way we do it is definitely different from the West and other places. And what I think is, am I saying is it an unfair advantage? No, I just think we need to tailor the way we understand entrepreneurship journey to be really us, so that we don't have that pressure of, because in other markets, if you can't succeed in under 2 years, then that's it. Actually, 2 years is even too far.
In
1 year,
in
and
fact,
then you
in fact,
pivot.
it reminds me of this famous term we hear in this space, fail fast.
Yes.
And
Experiment first, find out if you're succeeding or not. So yeah.
So but then again, I think, like you said, I totally agree. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that, and it's ridiculously illegal that, in fact, African startups or local startups, for that matter, have to go through. When you're actually source fundraising,
Yes.
Locally,
Yeah.
man, everyone sees you as whoever is giving money, and investors like a money lender, and no one is willing to throw money at you to fail. However, at the same time, obviously, there will be ridiculous ideas, but also sometimes are just made for purposes of raising. But like you said, I totally agree. Like, in other markets where that's why Silicon Valley is what it is. In fact, people throw money at ideas, right? So that you can experiment, and fail fast, then move on to the next thing, because
Yes.
However, but this also begs the question. For example, and it's also it creates a ridiculous contradiction in a sense, because we've done in Africa for so many years, and we've not given up. We are still bootstrapping.
Forever bootstrapping.
For lack of better words.
Yeah.
The same thing with Snack here. The same thing with all these startups we've
building. Yeah.
But then you do realize that where do you do the fine line? Because we 10 years down the line, you still have a strong conviction in the vision, right? That ideally, if we're not for anything but conviction, you would have done the sprint, the marathon, fail fast and move on. But then you realize that along the way, you don't have key reasons to pivot. Neither do you have strong reasons not to have, failed fast and pivoted. So you as a person who we do business together, right?
Yeah.
And that sharp contradiction, give an example of where we are with non-Afrique vis-a-vis the aspect of failing fast. What do you think that would uncap the ridiculousness of, why certain entrepreneurs have to stay in the space for so long without necessarily giving up, but maybe when it feels like they should give up, how could we
I think what I'm getting for you is when do you stop this forever? Because you're sort of in a loop, you're stuck in a place where you're saying, I can't just give up just yet. But also, I'm willing to stay just long enough to see if my vision is realized. But even before I make my point, for entrepreneurs who can push even beyond 5 years and continue, not so many can do it. It comes back again to your personal character. It comes with your resilience, and how can you be resilient enough, and how can you be stretched enough and not to give up. So it's not for everyone, because most entrepreneurs, probably even the 50th year, they'd be like, I've really tried my best. It's a good vision. I'm solving a real problem, but this is it. But then there's another entrepreneur on the other side who has the character of, I'll continue pushing, I'll continue experimenting. When to stop? I feel if the vision is big enough, I don't think you can stop. You eventually you'll figure out something, because you know very well what you're solving, and that's what stays. That's why we always say fall in love with the problem and not the solution, because then when you fall in love with the problem, every morning you wake up, you have a reason to do it. So yes, there's this timeline you have to think about, 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter really. You can even do it for 15 years. As long as you really believe in yourself that I'm solving a real problem, and of course pivots will come in when now you're doing the solution, you send it to the market, at the end of the day, market decides you're fed by them most of the time. If the users decide, well, this is not the right timing for this, pivot, but the big vision always stays there. For example, Haki, increasing access to legal help.
So what I'm getting here is, and I think totally agree, that you have to have a strong enough vision.
Yes.
That it's ridiculous that you will be ridiculous. 10 years, 20 years.
You're still believing in it. You still want to do it.
It reminds me of what's this guy? The guy who did the bulbs. What's his name?
The name is not coming. But he did over 400 of them.
He tested for 10,000.
10,000.
Was it Edward?
10,000. I don't remember but he never gave up until the last.
So and then when he was asked, he said, I just found 10,000 reasons to fail.
Exactly.
So he tried 10,000 times and to invent the simple thing. That what is simple now, the bulb. But he was he was ahead of his time.
Yes, of course.
So what Edwin is what we are saying here, and of course we've had this conversation before.
Yes.
So we've been ridiculously ahead of our time.
Absolutely. Trust me, we started talking about AI in 2017. The use of AI, the legal tech, and we have been privileged to be among the first guys who really understood this term legal tech, because it was like, what are we talking about?
You know what I'm thinking?
We were definitely.
Guys like when you do history, you hear guys like John Speak, Livingstone.
Yes.
The guy who discovered, of course, they discovered things that were already in existence. But I think some entrepreneurs like ourselves, we need to be given. I mean, for example, they discovered places, they were named after them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you're even going too far. You remember the guys who discovered like Mount Kenya, discovered like Victoria. So you're telling me there are no human beings around Lake Victoria. Someone comes and says they discovered it, and they say from now on this place is called Lake Victoria.
Yeah. So they discovered.
So this ridiculousness started way back.
So I think in that context, like even entrepreneurs, in this case like ourselves, man, 10 years ago we discovered.
What did we discover?
We were ahead of our time. We knew that we were speaking about AI way back.
Yeah.
We're telling guys, legal tech is the way to go.
Yes.
When everyone thought it was ridiculous,
Real-time per minute billing. What
you
is
know?
that?
So, so I think if anything,
Yeah.
I mean, we can't go without something. So I think we
No.
should be given at least an award
Please.
for
Which,
discover as well what.
yeah, I think. Wait, are you sure we don't have that an award in existence? If not, let's inspire people to come up with one because
I think so. I mean,
we're just yeah.
but you see, but I agree because if the vision is good enough, it doesn't matter. That is why guys like the guy who wanted a bulb we were talking about, this guy did 10,000 times so many years. Whenever I thought this guy is ridiculous.
Yeah, you're insane. What are you doing?
In some cases, back in the day, the guys would be executed.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because what are you doing?
You know, for thinking ahead of your time.
Of time, yeah.
The Alex or Robert Einstein.
Exactly.
These were crazy guys who actually escaped. Hitler was, you know.
But,
so, man. So, but again, I think it's very important because if you don't give up, but the two things you said, the idea has to be strong enough, and everything else in between is a pivot.
yeah.
And fall in love with the problem. So, but I also don't think that you can fall in love with the problem. It is not strong enough.
Of course. That's why you need to really
That will
understand.
become with
Yes, exactly. Because I mean, by the time you fall in love with that problem yourself, there's some form of validation. Obviously, you need to really confirm because you need to figure out, is this really a problem? Are you sure access to legal help is an issue? Are you sure lawyers are perceived expensive? And now you're trying to figure out how to make it more affordable to the normal, Are you sure about these things? Can you come up with examples? Can you talk to these, whoever, let's call them users for now. I think that's enough. It will back up your assumption and conviction that yes, this is
Conviction.
Then from there, the falling in love makes sense. Otherwise, you're just daydreaming.
Because man, in all seriousness, I think, and we've had these conversations before, and I will still say this in front of the world right now. With all seriousness, check it. You actually need to have a visionary. There are not ways around it. If you have enough strong vision, that's what is talking about conviction. You whatever happens, you'll be like water. You'll be able to pivot with the day. Because remember back in the day, when because of the strong enough vision, we came up with so many products that we have actually shaped. And then because we realized we're ahead of our time, right? But those things, okay, even now as we speak, these are things that they're just scratching the surface.
Yes.
And of course, what the times of now have done is validation. I mean, before COVID, lawyers never believed that actually they would be going to court virtually. Yeah. But we were the first guys.
We were doing it.
2017.
Yes.
2016.
Yeah.
Creating an app, and then guys are like, you guys.
What is
this?
What is this? Yeah.
But as we've already said, and I really strongly agree with you. I think what brings, and I stand here confidently and with no shame, if a vision is strong enough, I think, and that's the hard thing to find, because in our case we had a strong enough vision. So once it's there, that's, I think, in itself is conviction, right? And the conviction aspect of it in itself, it means that you can anything can happen, times can change, and once you have the conviction, then you can fall in love with the problem.
Yes.
But without the vision,
no.
I think you would barely and guys, there are two things here. You can just be in the business, which is okay, right? Meaning that you can wake up, open a shop, If the idea is always just to make money, there's so many ways of doing it.
Yeah.
However, don't confuse, making an impact, solving a problem, with making money. Totally different things. Because imagine a situation where, if, for example, when it comes to non-Afrique, if the inspiration was just to make money, that thing would be gone and buried.
Yeah.
So I think there's a fine line. At what point, like you said, do you then convert this? Because of course, a vision without that's not backed by financial aspect, because there's no way you can get to the numbers, reach out to, because if you can't reach the people, if you can't bring the problem solution to them, then your vision is anything but.
Yeah, it's just it's a nice write up in your
exactly. so ideally, I think that
so the execution
is very important.
Yeah.
However, the one thing that will keep you going is that vision.
Yes.
And you have to do everything within your power, because the world doesn't care anyway if you don't make it. But while I take everything within your power, I think, ridiculously as you may sound, you may look, to ensure that you find, your footing.
Yes.
And you're able to make that vision happen. So I think Apple, I totally agree, man. It's you have to fall in love with the problem so much, which is coming from the vision, and conviction, and then from there, pivots would mean learning,
different learnings, timings, understanding that maybe your market is not ready for this type of deployment, and that's fine. Do what now the market is asking you right now. Maybe you can send some few surveys to 100 users and tell them, find out if this product is actually going to do this and this. If they tell you this is it, then you try to ship that, see how it goes, and if you're happy with the progress, that's fine. And then again, execution is always the mother of all these things. So that's what will continuously guide you as you pivot, as you serve, as you go.
And in fact, as we talk about execution, it keeps reminding me this aspect of fail fast, because that's what gives you that.
Yes,
right?
Find out sooner than later, because again, what you're avoiding, we're calling them expensive mistakes.
Exactly.
You don't have the luxury of blowing $100,000 only to find out that no one really cares about.
And guys, don't forget that in saying all this, okay, you have to have the vision. Remember, is intact. If you have a clear understanding of the vision,
yes,
okay, everything else is a mission, right?
Yes.
So if the vision is to make the Lord known, that vision you will never achieve it, and that's the point. However, right now there's exceptions, the pivots.
Yes.
You're finding 1,000 reasons to get it there. Okay, so in that 1,000, one might click.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that your vision is not good enough. The biggest problem you'll have as an entrepreneur, I believe, is to have clarity of vision.
Yes.
And then you spend the rest of your happy or miserable life, whatever we don't care, trying to understand how to execute.
Yes.
Right? The vision.
Yes.
Because the mission is what you do every day to try and realize. So it's entirely up to
the mission to realize the vision.
Exactly. So the executions, you have to move very, very fast. But then again, what if you don't know how to execute?
So, and that lies into uncertainty, right? So you don't even know what I'm doing. So if, of course, again, we don't have a manual or a playbook that is just sitting there like, oh, if you read this, you'll execute anything you want on earth. No. I believe you want, as an entrepreneur, again, you can't work alone. Even if you have your co-founder, two of you, that's fine. But at some point, you still need help. And that's why you need now to plug into now the ecosystem, the whole entrepreneurship ecosystem, depending on the space you're solving for, right? And now you need to seek relevant support and help, because remember, there are people who've done this before. There are people who've gone beyond this. There are people who've, built companies before you successfully and also failed miserably. And they have a lot of learnings. So back to my comment, avoid expensive mistakes. So that means, how do I do that? That means I need to see, I'm in this space, fashion or legal or health. I need to see the entrepreneurs who've come before me. They're not solving what I'm solving, but there are things that they did right and wrong that I could learn from them quickly to be part of it. Why am I doing that? Because I don't know how to execute, but I want to learn how to execute. So be willing to learn, that's number one. And then now try to drop in few things, few experiments as you go. Trust me, eventually you'll start getting the hang of it. And then one or two experiments succeeds, you can now use it, let's call it a template or your blueprint to continue. This is zero, you have the vision, you have the passion to solve for this problem, but now execution is a problem. Now that means you need now to not work alone. Now you need to work with, let's use the word mentors, or let's use the word people who've done it before, and then slowly start, enriching now your journey with their experiences and see if this can help you solve this. And don't be afraid to ask, because I think learning is when you're going out there and asking. And I'm sure someone who's done it before, they'll be really happy to tell you, I don't know what you're building, but this is what I did and this is how I succeeded. If you're telling, clean slate, you never even executed anything. And I think from there, and then don't be afraid to fail, because you're going to fail. You don't necessarily have to fail, but when it happens, don't freak out. Just breathe. Namaste. Breathe in.
Next.
Pick yourself.
So you have to be ridiculous enough.
Yes.
To stay in there.
Namaste. Yeah. Otherwise, it will crush you, and that's not a good thing. And you're so innocent, and you really wanted to conquer the world. You wanted to do it. So.
Remember back in the day, I think, was it 2016, 2017? The passion.
Of course.
And then you're like, why on this planet Earth would someone not understand that I'm actually trying to change the world?
Yes.
Just bloody give me money.
Just give me $50,000. I don't even want a lot.
Not too much.
And then you're reading newspapers, you're seeing politicians stealing billions of shillings. And you as an entrepreneur, you just need like about 5 million Kenyan shillings, so maybe 10 million, just to do a specific thing and to jump.
But also that tells you one thing, because we've been to we have been the ecosystem for quite some time.
Yes.
We've been so many incubations. We've had mentorship.
And before you comment on that, what I concluded, and I keep repeating it every time I meet an entrepreneur, African entrepreneurs, they are overly mentored and underfunded. So don't tell me entrepreneurs on the continent have problem with mentorship. These guys, they've been to accelerators, some that they don't even know what they're doing. Remember, some accelerators are
guys are confused.
Accelerators are also just startups. They're also ridiculously startups. Some know what they're doing.
Mentors are the use of mentorship.
Exactly. and wasting entrepreneurs' time. Trust me, we've been to all of those.
But don't get discouraged.
Keep going.
Don't get discouraged. But I mean, it's true, because to be very honest, you need to understand what business you are in. You could be in so many accelerations. You could be in so many mentorships.
And they will welcome you.
Are you feeding the vision of
exactly.
a mentorship company?
Yes.
Because you could be doing that. Because, man, I just don't understand why African startups spend so much time, like you said, in over mentorship, over acceleration.
Yeah, accelerating to go
okay,
where?
what
And
are-
you're hitting
what
the
have
wall.
we
You're
not
never
done,
even
right?
taking over. What's the point of takeoff? It's like we're forever on the runway, and then your pilot is being cleared to take off. We are not taking off. What's the issue? You're like, oh, I can take off by one moment. Can I go round again? Because someone needs to mention.
Not to mention specific names.
No, absolutely. And we're also not promoting anyone here. Yeah.
But just to call you out, I mean, like, most recently, for example,
Yes.
you
I told you I'm done. I told you I'm done. But again, okay. Sometimes it's addictive. It's very addictive, so be careful with that. Also.
You might end up being in the business of an accelerator, a mentee.
Yes, a mentee. Just hopping from one to another to another. Let me tell you, even again, we're not mentioning names, but there was a time, I don't know which year, I won't even say it, so I don't want anyone to go and start looking at it. I got so obsessed with attending tech conferences. You'll find me in so many conferences, flying out of the country, going to places, going to different towns. So it gets so I met someone in one of these. Is like, I know your deck from from the slide one to the last one. Why? Because I've seen your deck presenting in so many. So he asked me a simple question. He's like, okay, so when do you actually get down to work?
Right now.
Yes. And then he asked two. Then he said, and your traction slide, the number of users you mentioned here, you mentioned them 6 months ago, so you've not even grown. Oh, I was like, okay, you just busted my bubble. So I said, okay, I'm done with this technical back to business and do other things.
Man, like, honestly, it got to a point, I even couldn't understand my own pace. I mean, like, you look at your deck, you've got this thing like 1,000 times,
And there's someone in the audience who knows your deck.
You've gone through business modeling,
Canva,
without mentioning organizations.
No mentions, yeah. But you know yourselves. Yeah.
To make us go.
Okay, so wait, we're not here to vent. But they know what they did.
But it got to a point.
They even promised us money.
You know the serious point.
Yeah.
That African startups are
overly
mentored, over accelerated to the point that you get confused. Instead of focusing on the business, that guy told you.
Yeah, it was like.
How do you explain you're spending 20 days in a month on a plane, on pitch decks, when are you even going to do your business?
They used to call them pitch competition. You win $10,000. Picha. And then the problem is, I'm not discouraging. Go to as many of these things as you can, but just make sure you're intentional, and also your objective with what. Is this really adding to your vision? Is it really adding to your vertical? Otherwise, please don't go to a conference that deals with agri-tech, because they're saying we're encouraging also other types of entrepreneurs to be here, and you're there. What are you doing in agri-tech? And you're solving for legal.
And be mindful and ridiculously so of what business the people that you're going to are in.
Yes.
If it's a mentorship, are they in the business of mentorship?
Be careful. What?
Because then you most likely be client.
Of course.
Be customer.
Yes.
Are they? If it's accelerations, is that their core business? So then ask yourself, if that's their core business, where do I fall? If I'm a customer, okay, what can I take? Because by and large,
they're also in business, and they're also a startup, and then they're also and before you even jump into any of this stuff, look for reviews.
Millions.
Yeah, they know how to package their stuff, man. They know how to package their stuff. They know how to. They're even giving you exit options. They're even telling you, be part of us. We'll only take 2% equity. They all have this nice packaged language, but it's important also to do your research. Find out the success rate. You find a very nice glossy website of an accelerator. You're like, this is it. You hit apply button. They get you into the program, and of course, all they're giving is a space and unlimited coffee and unlimited Wi-Fi, and then one regular mentor who shows up once in a day,
nice food,
and then and
you have pitch day every Friday.
Of course, every Friday you're pitching the same crowd.
Meanwhile, they're collecting data.
Of course, to them, you're validating first what they're doing. Even that data, they're going to use you and your whatever to tell other people. Oh yeah, you see, as an example, there's this Edwin guy who sits here. He's been working on this legal track for the last, but he just do your research. In fact, be bold. Ask them, like, look, I like your proposal. It's amazing. Talk to me your success rate. How many startups have actually exited here?
Edwin,
how many entrepreneurs that you've mentored?
I think you're pushing
I'm pushing it too much.
You know why?
Yes, because I'm coming from that angle. This overly mentorship thing pissed me off after I thought.
Because the problem is an entrepreneur in the early stages. You're so excited. You really want to see this app hit ground and running.
Yes.
And
you want your first 100 customers.
Oh my God, these guys come to look savage. You see your dream. So don't stop believing, but have courage enough, like Edwin here say, to pause and really ask, what is it that, because I'm not getting it wrong, there's something always to benefit,
Oh, yeah.
You'll probably get networks, maybe you'll actually get money. They can give you like a 5K.
Yeah, why not?
USD,
Why not? Why not?
If you can use it for benefit. Yeah. But of importance, I think the takeaway, to be fair, you spend so much time off the main thing, which is your customer.
Yes.
But now the sad bit is an entrepreneur. They say I need money to reach the customer, and this was always a pain point. We're like, okay, guys, we understand. You understand. Yes. You need all. We've done picture coach and all this, but we need to be at the customer.
Yes.
We can't access the customer, and then you're being told, you need to show numbers.
Yeah. From where? So it's a catch-22. Or let's go chicken and egg problem.
So that's like
I can't give you 5K without the traction.
If you push,
but the traction, I need to find the customer.
If you push very much, they will tell you, no. You need to show traction.
Show some traction.
Show some numbers.
Show someone is interested in you.
And then you're like, you guys.
But I need
money to go to the customer. Like, no. We can't just give you money without some number. So that is where I think now you've pushed this guy so hard.
I know.
You're like, this one is starting to be kichwangumu in Swahili. Huyu ameweza kuwa kichwangumu, big head.
Yes.
Then now you say, okay, fine. We can give you the 50K, 100K USD, whatever.
Yeah.
Just go to the market, get your numbers, and talk.
Yes. But now just to go back to the first comment you're talking about, when you're asking in terms of your thoughts on how entrepreneurs on the continent were struggling to take off and all that. And yes, it relies also with the funding support, but external investors, they have problem investing in us because of the high risk. Because they're looking at it from inflation point, they're looking will they get their return, their dollar back in their dollar, into your revenues are in local currency. So many factors why the external investors, they're reluctant, and even the local ones. I'm just thinking, because you asked like what would be one of the best solutions around it. I'm just thinking maybe we should come up with or we should have frameworks here in place to help de-risk this journey, to de-risk at least, so that the external investor will feel, okay, the risk was here, but now it's lower. Because you can imagine even a local investor want to do $5,000 to you, but they're still, it's a small ticket size, but they're still reluctant to give it to you.
Yeah, one thing for
because
sure,
this is high risk.
I've always believed, from my experience, most of the investors you get locally, and I'm really, this is my opinion really, and that doesn't have to be the truth. They come off like money lenders, if you ask me.
Yes.
If I'm being very honest.
Yes,
because
or Shylocks actually.
You know,
Those-
expensive because they
Expensive.
want to see their ROI, return on investment, like almost immediately.
Yeah.
But then you're bleeding this startup, right?
Yeah.
You are not giving this startup chance to fail, and whereas in the West, people are just the risk appetite is high.
Yes.
Of course, it's an advanced system.
Yes.
It's tested and proven, right? People actually would be looking at risking 100K. It could go. This 100,000 USD could disappear. But that's not the point, because it has also proven, because of the way the system works, that
You can spread even the 100K, 820, maybe you can do 10 startups, 10K, 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 and you know
but also
what's the chance of all of them
But
failing,
also-
and then which one?
exactly. But also, people are not afraid to take the risk.
Yes.
However, going back to I think your proposed solution of de-risking.
De-risking. What ways can
I
we
think
do it?
I think last year happened to be in an event. I think it was organized by this.
You want to do the names to promote them?
Oh Jesus! No. Okay. Yeah. Good.
But
good
I
call.
would even. Yeah, I know.
But anyway, without promoting names on, so I understand from that conference. I think countries like Tunisia,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong, they have actually begun the risking
Yes.
from a government level.
Yes.
I don't know how far they have gone, and I don't know
But
if
by
they
the
went
time
through with it.
I visited Tunis, they already enacted the Startup Act, which basically protected the entrepreneurs there in terms of tax. Before you become profitable, the government will try to support you and not tax you so much. And then they've also tried to create government-led accelerators or mentorship programs more than so the government is working in private sector to basically to empower this entrepreneur. So the government is like, what can we do for you to succeed? Why? Because they believe strongly that the SMEs, those are the economic drivers for these spaces, and they know if we invest enough, and this is something that also Boris got it right when he was the mayor in the UK. If we invest enough to these entrepreneurs, these are the things that are going to boost our economy. And I think Tunisia, by the time I was leaving, there was a startup, I won't mention the name, but it was at least, we can call it at least a unicorn. One unicorn came out of Tunis. And yes, so back to your thoughts. I think that's also one way of
For the sake of our viewers,
yes.
what is a unicorn?
Ooh.
Just in 2 words.
Maybe evaluation is 1 billion.
You've probably raised
and basically you're going public.
You raised at least how many $1 million in this case?
Over 100 at least.
That will be series what?
Those funny ones. So is it series? So we have series A, B, so C.
It keeps going.
Yeah.
So you are at
basically you've done all the series.
The rounds.
Now you're going exit. Basically you're back
chance.
to public.
You're
IPOing now.
You can't maybe fail. That is it. You've become you've made it.
Yes.
You've made it. But anyway, so I understand as well. I think that on top of that, they managed to actually to create a policy to de-risk foreign investment into the startup directly. Where, in fact, if you came under an American company, for example, whichever country investor came.
So they will invest in the government, and then the government distributes to entrepreneur.
They would invest in the. There would be some form of. The government wouldn't necessarily be, because we don't want to also interfere in the private loop, right?
Yes.
But the government would act as a guarantor in a sense. So the investment goes to the startup. But this is something that we need to double check.
Yes.
I don't
but
have
this is one of the ways we can do it.
Yeah. So, but this is what I'm not sure. Please don't quote me on this. It's a Muhereza here misled us. But that's something I think I've had, subject to verification. Yeah. The government, the private investor, private company. You agree? I'll give you $100 million or whatever it is. Then the government has set up a policy where, of course, based on certain parameters, they can come in and de-risk the investment and sort of give a guarantee or some form of assurance to the investor that your money is likely unless it goes it disappears because the business has failed, but within certain parameters, because let's face it, a lot of unfortunately there are startups, the criminals also wear the heart of startups, especially in the African ecosystems. Someone just comes, sets up something, fundraisers, but not for purposes of doing what it is that they are pitching, and they are very good at pitching actually. And
writing business proposals.
Get the money, move. So that also the bad faith dealings have led to a lot of mistrust, and of course the leadership need to do better in terms of de-risking, creating the policies. Of course, it's a journey. I think we'll get there. But for you as an entrepreneur,
dear entrepreneur, this is a letter from us to you.
we want to encourage you to continue dreaming.
Keep pushing.
Don't stop.
Keep
but
pushing.
Just understand the business of the person you're getting the business with.
There you go.
Because are you spending so much time, in
3 months, 6 months, 12 months, before you know it,
in
3
mentorship
years,
and all these things,
you're still getting mentored.
I think also one solution would be, so like in our case, remember we made a decision in 2018 to try and step back a little bit and focus on how to sustain the business, right, on a slow growth curve, right, but you're able to pull funds somehow, somewhere from other different sources, meaning now being a lawyer, you being the tech guy, doing your telecom engineering manenos. So, but I think for starters, there's also truth in the feedback that you get. If so people are asking you for numbers, unfortunately, as an African startup, you may not have too many opportunities. I think if you can focus in landing that one customer, with little cost as possible, what Edwin earlier was saying, execute fast, fail fast, right? If you have, if your vision is X, find 1,000 times to lead you to X. Okay, if you as at little cost in terms of time and money as possible, and when that clicks, right, then focus on that and grow it. In our case, I think
we had a lot of clicks, but with different reasons.
And I think, of course, also it's always a learning curve, because there's a point that something was working, but I think of course at that stage you're like, this is exciting, but we want this. Remember, adopt a lawyer program.
We had
so many,
and
without revealing your
of course. But I have to call you out a little bit. You have to forgive me on this one. So, Mr. CEO,
he's calling me out on that.
Just for today, I know I'm first guest, but also and I'm managing my manners. So this guy will come to the office every morning. We used to have a session, a brainstorm session, if you like, and we'll go over some nice ideas about where the business is going, what we're doing today, and what. So here we go wild. Basically, we're coming up with not too many blue skies ideas, but really interesting ideas. We'll write them down nicely, and we'll even say, among these 10, we can actually work with this one this week. Perfect, amazing. We continue with our daily tasks and everything. We come next day. So we had a very nice whiteboard and a section where you couldn't erase. You take a picture of that idea section, erase it, and then we're going to come up with again another 10 ideas. So at some point, at the end of the week, we're having over 100. So my question is, You know, we're supposed to focus on the other one to continue all of it. But it's like, no, but you know, I get excited. I want to build more. Those things are fine. But please, stay on course.
You know what I learned?
Yeah.
Was in that phase, was that number one, I think it
SWOT
was
analysis.
but you see, man, like I think in the early stages, if anything, you will, because I think ideas at some point stop coming to you. I don't know. You may run out of steam. So to me, I think it was more like,
let me maximize
if
this as much as I
things
can.
are coming, let me have them. It's like
archive and then
exactly. It was building storage. However, the danger with that is you may also be caught in a loop.
Yes. Yes.
of piling storage, but then now you can't pay for the store.
Exactly. And then and also storage is expensive.
But also then I'll also call you out as the COO. That's Apple operations ban.
That one, I agree.
So you're supposed to run with one idea.
Yes.
You know the CEO, typically CEO.
What I will do normally to be the COO in that case, and he knows it. When he says that idea, I'll open a Google document, I'll put the title, and then there's nothing there. So you come next day, you open the document, he thinks I've populated now a bunch of, the operational, nothing. And I think for me it was more, I was also selfish, because I was like, no, we still need to do the other side.
But then,
if we open our folder...
But then you would have done it. Yes. Because I think what we didn't learned then, or what we learned over time, was that of course people have different skill set, and that's a good lesson I've learned over the years. And
strengths and
and there's no harm if you define what you're good at, like
early on.
Like in my case,
it saves time.
Brainstorming.
Is the idea guy.
I'll dissect a situation 100 years from now if need be, and I'll take you back 50 years in time, right?
And coining names.
And
okay, now I'm done calling you out. End of calling.
When it comes to innovation,
yes,
vision, for me, there. So now, but then, I think like I needed someone who is obsessed with execution, because again you need to balance both. I mean, you would want ideas to flow, you'd want also ideas to be experimented very fast, because actually we had an opportunity, because someone was dropping them like mangoes.
Yes, yes.
But of course, now my friend here was in the wrong job as well, because COO was not his thing. He was good at CTO, but we didn't have, we are trying to wear different hats. I was a visionary CEO, but really, execution is not my, at least strength at that point.
Then we still need to raise money.
But operations is not his thing. Then we're wearing all hats. We're doing everything. So I think that's a challenge for any entrepreneur, really, because if you don't have funds to understand his different strengths and weaknesses, what do you do? But also at the same time, you need to go through the process. There are no shortcuts.
No.
You need to go through, that loop, so you can actually understand, where you're best, where you're weak, where you're strong, and along the way, find
the sweet spot.
The sweet spot.
We can call it sweet spot.
The right partners.
Or intersection,
Because also if you don't have funds, then if you're able to very quickly understand your weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
Then you source for perhaps co-founders who then can believe in you and can actually play the role. And we actually really tried, we tried to find people in a way. We did everything we could, but sometimes that's the only way, At the end of the day, the vision is still as
It's still there.
strong as
Yeah.
you know. The things that now my friend here used to type, and good thing I have the pictures.
Yes, yes.
Because I'm like, no, you get. So those things, of course, a lot of them we developed them into actual concepts, like proper,
They're there. Yeah.
like
Yeah,
well
yeah.
thought through. Now, that is a plus, right? However, if probably we had, you know, that journey, and in a way, again, because maybe if the ecosystem was different, and it has improved right now, but it's still, not as efficient as it should be. Perhaps we would have gone far. Maybe would have it would have been easier, to learn skills elsewhere. It would have been easier, for us to experiment with the customers, and sustain, and also stick to one thing and move forward. But I still think that there is no. I think there's no failing in a sense. There is only lessons that you get from the failure.
Yes.
However, fail fast. Fail fast. Ensure that the vision is good. Fall in love with that vision, that problem. Everything else will fall in place. And don't be discouraged.
And enjoy the ride.
Right?
Yeah. While at it.
While at it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Sounds like it's been it's been emotional.
Yes, this is really, and I told you, I've really tried to, just to compress myself, but we definitely need more of this series because there's so much I want to put it out there.
No, absolutely. I think when it comes,
but this is a good start.
Yeah, it's a good start. Definitely, it's man, it's. That's why for me personally, this podcast, this channel is very important, because like people are going through so much, and a lot of people talk about things they have not experienced. So in this particular series, we have gone. This one we've lived it, right? Perhaps now maybe we'll have an entrepreneurship series or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can unpack some of
the things, but. This channel for me, of course, it complements. It actually makes me, and being a lawyer, and a tech lawyer, feel like full, because you'd find that having the opportunity to share, right, in a way that you're believable. Not everyone really has the time to share, and certainly. Not everyone has gone through the pain that they would be willing to share.
Yeah,
right?
they will only just tell you, or you talk to these successful entrepreneurs, they'll just tell you the good parts and maybe mention one or two things just to make you relatable. But then they won't really tell you behind the scenes, the proper, those,
Great. So, Edwin, we have a tradition on this podcast, the closure. So basically, it goes like when we are finishing off, I do usually three things, both in Swahili and English. Swahili because I believe I've earned rights. I'm Kenyan in a sense.
And I mean Swahili is
and Swahili is an African language.
Yeah.
It's actually an official language even most of the including Uganda, Rwanda, South Africa. So it's a language that needs to and hasn't made progress anyway. It's a global language. If you don't know, then you're about to catch up. So I would wish that every African actually would speak Swahili. I think would have an identity that because language is about reach. But obviously technology of late, you can speak your Spanish, wherever, I'll be able to understand, which is fantastic. But I think it's all about identity. So normally I say asante sana, thank you very much. Mungu abariki, God bless you. Mungu abariki Africa, God bless Africa. Marriages are out. So that's like a closure. So once we're done, which I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
I would want, since you're the first guest on the show, you know, thumbs up for the very first co-host. Yeah, so I'd want us to symbolically, you know, do it at the same time. And sign as a sign out.
Okay.
So remember, asante sana. Then you say it in English.
Oh, we have to translate. So it's asante sana.
Mungu abariki. Mungu abariki Africa. Kwa heri. Asante sana. Thank you very much. Like you say, both.
Got it.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
You wanna sign off?
Sorry, but you're saying at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. So
on the count of 1 to 3.
Okay. Asante sana.
Thank you very much.
Mungu abariki.
God bless you. Mungu abariki Africa. God bless Africa. Kwa heri. Goodbye. Muhereza.
Out. Edwin out.
Tubanga.
Yeah.
Catch you in the next one.
Yes. Wakanda forever.
Cheers, sana, brother.
Cheers, man. That was fun.
It's been real.
Yeah. Overmentored. Cheers.
Cohort guy.